Welcome, one and all, to Strang Theory. I've forgotten how many weeks we've done this. It's about 492. I'm here by myself tonight. I am batching it. I am cut off from my friend and our producer, the lovely Ginger. And there you go. So, yeah. Just here by myself. Here are my shorts. We want to thank, I want to thank our partners, Boucher Guitars. Couldn't do this without you. Levy's Leather Straps, G&G Music, Citadel Music, Reed's Music, Mount Pearl, Brickhouse Guitars, K&K Gallagher Guitars, Recording King Alvarez Yeri, Yamaha Canada, James Martin Instruments, Cody Guitars, Diodario, The Arc, Apollo Picks, Epiphone Gibson, Close Guitars, Blue Chip Picks, Tone Slab, LR Bags, big news coming there, Maestro Hose and Guitars, Singapore, George Crackett Guitars, Albany, New York, and our buddies at the SPCA. Don't forget our little furry buddies. And yeah, so there we go. There's the intro. The intro is as such. So yeah, anyhow, we love you, and it's good to be here with you on a Wednesday night. Sort of all by my lonesome. There's no people. Table's empty. Anyhow, I got a lot of things. The first thing I want to do is go to the comment section of the channel and take a look, because there are so many things that I want to answer. I don't answer a lot of the comments because there's thousands of them. So I kind of pick my fights, and get in here on the show as I can to answer the ones that need answering. So Holes 8215 says, "Hi John, another commenter described the LL16, this is the Yamaha we're talking about, as neck heavy, that it felt like the neck always dies down and needs extra support. I'm wondering what you think." I myself have never encountered that. So either the person is not used to an acoustic guitar, because all acoustics, if you're an electric player, will tend to feel neck heavy. But the Yamahas are perfectly balanced. I've never had a problem with any imbalance with the neck. Let's see. What else do we have here? This is very interesting. I like this one. Panayiotis Kanelopoulos, 8696, says, I don't know what that name is, but, he'll know who he is. "A special note for you all. I bought the last piece that existed in Europe," and he's referring to the Epiphone Excellente that I've reviewed on here, that I have here, that's one of my favorite guitars. "I bought the last piece that existed in Europe, and there's only one in North America that I could find. And as I saw at the official Epiphone site, there's not even one piece of Excellente. They are marked out of stock. Question, will they stop the line production of it? I think yes," he says. "And the reason is that the mother Gibson company is humiliated by making products at that price. Much better than Gibson ones at a quarter of the price. It's just crazy. Or they will at least double the prices of Masterbuilt Epiphones. I hope not, in parentheses. So what I want to say about that is that I think I said from the very, very beginning that those guitars, those IBGs, Epiphone, those fancy reissues of the Excellente, the Frontier, the Texan, we couldn't expect those to stay around forever because it's just not going to happen. They were flexing their guitar building muscle, and a lot of the IBG guitars have nearly doubled in price because they're awesome. Even at double price, they're still half price of a Gibson. And with that being said, I have to first say that the Gibson guitar that's being built right now that I see on the shelves every time I go into a music store are blowing my mind. They have upped their game so far, and I know it's a pipe dream to think that I had something to do with that, but I kind of hope that we all did have something to do with that. Because I've been saying that ad nauseum for over 3 years now, that these big companies, Gibson, Martin, Taylor, they are capable of building the best guitars in the world, and it's about goddamn time that they started doing it. And Gibson has, in my opinion, what I've seen on the shelf in the last 6-8 months, hanging on the walls and pulling them down and playing them, has absolutely blown my mind. They're just incredible. They've gone back to, I don't know if it's the wood selection, the build, like trying to, I don't know what it is. Something's happened. So Epiphone, unfortunately, is going to start to play second fiddle to that because he can't concentrate on both things at once. So the Epiphones will continue to be made, probably, but I would say their numbers are going to be limited. So if you didn't buy one back when I was shouting at you 2 years ago, you're probably going to kick yourself because they're not going to be around in the numbers that they were when they first came out. So that's an interesting question, and I wanted to feature it. Let's see what else is on here. People loving Yamaha. Another person buying an Excellente. Paying $1,700 for it, too. He's over in Europe. Here's a good one. Terry FP3DW says, and this is concerning the Why Do I Hate Martin Guitars video, which still has astronomical number of views. He says, JP, you're awesome. Don't trip on these haters, bro. I love your honest assessments of the guitars that you review. You're real people talking about real issues. Keep on doing what you're doing. Don't ever change. We love you here in America. Thank you. Love you too. And Misfit Geek says, I love your honest video reviews. You can't get an honest review from a guitar seller. It's unfortunately kind of true. There was a really good one I wanted to say. I want to read here. Well, here's an interesting one. Who has a username, and he says, I think your knowledge and how interesting your videos are is exceptional. I really don't feel comfortable with your using God's name in vain. I think you're really the man when it comes to extremely helpful guitar reviews and information, but I don't believe I should keep on watching because of your language. Your knowledge is amazing. So, whoever that is, user code number, right? Please don't let any of that stop you from watching the channel. Just my language has absolutely nothing to do with your life. I'm giving you good information, Uh, I'm not asking you to join any religion. I'm not asking you to change your belief system. I'm only talking about guitars. And if the way I talk about them seems a little off color, well, file that somewhere else and get the good stuff out of what you want and ignore the rest. Because I won't change, and there's highly doubtful that anybody would change at this point in time concerning any of that. So don't let any of that bother you. I want you to stay with us. There was a really good one here I loved. It's pretty deep down. So, here it is. So Kulutak. So this is a good one. And he's made several comments, but this one is really funny. I just have to say one thing. The reason why people are looking at you like you're a mental patient, because you're not following your own advice and come off extremely fraudulent otherwise. If you were truly keeping an open mind, why are you not looking at the cheaper Martins? Again, this is the Why Do I Hate Martin Guitars video. It draws people in from all over the world. D18 on down to a D1. Most people buy guitars for the sound. Is that what you're buying them for, or are you buying them for the looks and the collecting types of wood? So, Kulutak, I'm going to tell you something. There's nothing fraudulent about what I do. And I'll tell everyone on here, and you right to your face, that anything below a D18 is a flaming piece of dog shit. There's nothing below the D18 that is built to the specifications that Martin is capable of. And that's why I don't look at them. I have no interest in buying guitars that are sometimes either partially laminated, multiply necks, guitars with no binding, guitars with no finish, guitars that have bizarre bolt-on necks that don't actually work. Like all this crap that's below the D18 line is just not what professional guitar players would ever play. If they are, show me one. Show me a world-class guitar player that's playing anything below a D18. You're just not going to find it. It's not going to happen. So, and the reason for that is they are just not the quality that Martin is known for or is capable of building. So there's no point in me going on here and reviewing a D15 or a Rode blah, 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 DX1 up your arse, whatever the hell it is, and sitting there in the chair and taking a giant crap on the guitar, because that's exactly what I would do, because they are just not deserving of any kind of anything compared to the D18 and up. Those are where Martins really start. I've recently played a few D18s and a couple 28s actually too that were just stellar, unbelievable. Even Martin is upping his game, and I hope that people like me that are screaming about this continually are causing that to happen. But I'm never going to go on here and review some bargain Martin guitar that's really made, unfortunately, for people who just they're not professional players. They're not out on the road. They're not in the recording studio. They're not doing this for a living. They just want a guitar that has that logo on the headstock. And that's unfortunate because, as I've said 8 million times, there's better guitars for less money. If you are just a guitar head, like I am, you don't have to buy a logo, right? That's the whole key. And you want to talk about fraudulent. That's what's fraudulent about Martin, because they're making all those cheap guitars to sell people Martins. It has nothing to do with the quality of the instrument or why you should buy it or what it's used for. They're selling the logo to people who just don't know any better. And it's really unfair because, now mind you, some of them might sound great, but you're not getting your money's worth. You really aren't getting it. So there you go. There's no other way for me to say it. And I know that's harsh, but I want people to get their money's worth. I don't care if you're a beginner or you never play outside your house or you just play at picnics and parties or you're a weekend warrior, you deserve the best guitar you can get for the money. And the fucking logo has nothing to do with it. There you go. God boy, here's a good bomb for you there. Anyhow, I've become quite acidic. So I will go to the questions before I'm forced to leave the property. All right, boys and girls, let's see. Let me get this over here where I can see it good. And I see a lot of our regulars are with us. We've got quite a few people with us now. Love you, Eli. See you on there. Let's see. So the first Christian goes to Jeff Gallon. Jeff Gallon. He says, hey, Big John, is it possible that the neck dive commenter has one leg shorter than the other and is throwing him off? I would dare say that could be a vast possibility. Just between me and you and the other 250,000 people that watch this occasionally. Andy A. Send us a super chat and no question. Love you anyway. Let's see. We're going to go. So that's it for now. Let's go back here and see who's talking and questioning and whatever. So Eli Patrick said, hey, everybody. What are your thoughts on the work of John D. Loudermilk, the writer of Windy and Warm? So, unfortunately, I only know that one tune. That's the only thing of his that I'm familiar with, and I'm positive he wrote hundreds of other pieces of music, but it's the only one I know about. So, Eli, you get one over on me right away, because I don't know anything more about him than that. Let's see. Here we go. Who else we got? Stephen Baker's with us. Oh, there we go. Stephen Baker is not really able to get real involved with us because big news. Master Music Method, my online school that's been running for years, over a decade now, is about to relaunch this weekend. So if you go to www.mastermusicmethod.com, you will be taken to our brand new site that we own, we control. There's no middleman, and you can sign up, and it's awesome. This thing is coming with cell phone apps, all kinds of new features that are going to be added in as we go. It's been tested by we had it in beta testing with some other, actually some of the guys at Gallagher Guitar, I think, tested it for us. And it's opening up full bore this weekend. So if you want to sign up for those lectures, I'm not even sure exactly what we decided for, but the price hasn't gone up. It was $15 US per month. I think we've did some exchange and just kept it basically the same. So if you want to sign up, it's ridiculously low money for 24/7 access to dozens of lectures on guitar, fiddle, banjo, mandolin, with more stuff going up all the time. There's actually enough material on there now to keep you busy for the better part of a year. If you pay attention and practice the lectures as long as you should to get to the, to climb to your next level. So be sure to check it out. www.mastermusicmethod.com. And it's really cool. I've loved sorting that thing out. And it's going to be even better now because I'll be in direct contact with my students. You'll be able to ask for things and I'll do lectures on them. Because if most people ask for things when they're learning that can benefit everyone. So I take a lot of my lecture ideas from the actual students asking questions. And it's going to be wicked. This is a really big thing. Stephen Baker and his team have been working on this for months, trying to get this thing where it's all in our court. There's no middlemen fucking around and screwing things up for us. So if you already were a student before when Vimeo shut us down, come back. because it's no long. They're not involved anymore. It's just me and you and Stephen Baker, who is one of the finest human beings that I know of. And he and his team of programmers and web hosts are, they smoke. It's wicked. They're really great folks. So anyhow, that's exciting. There will be some. I'm going to be filming some commercials and stuff for it that'll show up on YouTube and Facebook and Google and all those things. So that's going to be fun too. Let's see now. What else we got? Colin Dolan says he's going to see Tim Eady play in Galway. I wish I was there, you bastard. Corey McCormick says, I'm planning to stop in the G&G Music 2 weeks when I'm going to Cape Breton. You're going to love that visit. That's a great way to spend a few hours. Let's see. Let's make sure I'm not missing anybody. Jeez. Bram Avery says, can I put braided steel cables on my 12-string? Parlor banjolele. Yeah, go ahead. That doesn't sound great. Sonia, Andy A. I haven't found Andy A's comment yet. Bram Avery, super chat from Bram Avery. Member, master guitar head for 16 months. JP, as a working musician and lover of all things tone and quality related, you know your shit. Remember, someone out there thinks that Bud Light rules. Not getting involved. That has nothing to do with music. Blair Sveinson. Biggest surprise at Stanfest. Well, you know, the biggest surprise at Stanfest was, for me, Alan Doyle. I forgot how incredible that guy was, and his new band, the beautiful, beautiful band, he calls it, they're unbelievable. And I hate to say this, it's a terrible thing to say, but I mean, the Great Big Sea was a great band, but when you put Alan Doyle with these monster world-class musicians, he transcends even Great Big Sea. It's another world altogether, and he was one of the most entertaining sons of bitches I ever saw. And I've known Alan for years. I recorded with Great Big Sea on their last record, and they're just wicked. Alan is incredible. He's a wicked entertainer, wicked songwriter, wicked singer. The guy is just a monster. And I think that as much success and millions of albums those guys sold, it almost was a waste of Alan Doyle in a lot of ways, because he's just so good. He's so good that when you see him in that context with this huge, beautiful, these guys are world-class players. You get Corey Tetford playing electric guitar for him. And it's crazy. It was one of the best shows I've ever seen. And as a matter of fact, I told Troy that was the best show he's ever had on that stage, ever, in the history of the festival. And I honestly stand by that. I have never seen anything better than that on that stage. So, a surprise, but not. I already knew Alan was awesome, but that killed me. It was wicked. Let's see here. Who else is up? Oh, we got Jamie Reed. Super chat. The amount I've learned from you in the past 2 years is nuts, and you are making a big difference in the guitar world, so keep being yourself, bud. No worries. I will. Thank you, Jamie. Love you. Terry Short. Super chat. Terry Short. Terry's been here before. Sorry. I like the take on Martin, but how do you feel about the LX1E that Ed Sheeran plays? So, I'm sorry, Terry, but that guitar is like it's a satin finished, unbound piece of shit. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. It's horrible. It sounds horrible. It plays horrible. And if you got any amount of moisture on that guitar, it would just explode. Like, there's nothing holding it together. It has no binding. It looks like a ukulele. It's just, if I'm thinking of the right one, Because I've seen them and thought, Ed Sheeran plays this? Like, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they get out on the road and they are robust, but I would never play one of those things. They're so bad. They sound horrible. They just sound like a toy. And maybe it doesn't matter to him because he's plugged in all the time and using loopers and using this and that. And he's a very talented guy. And maybe that's all he wants. Maybe that's what he wants his sound to be, is that kind of cheap, artificial, whatever. I don't. I want my guitars to sound like guitars. And the more they sound like they are acoustically on stage, the better. That's why I choose the kind of pickups I use, the kind of amp I use. It's all geared towards making my guitar sound on stage as it does in this room, right? And there's just no other way to say any of those things, right? It is what it is. And I'm sorry if you're a Sheeran fan or you have one of those guitars. I mean, maybe they're good. I don't know. But the ones that I've seen, I shook my head. Stephen Becker was going to ask about Alan. Please give the play-by-play on what I missed this weekend. It broke my heart to miss it. To be quite honest with you, Stephen, you didn't miss nothing but a giant flood and a piss up. That's all it was. Saturday night, we were under about 2 feet of water. The whole festival had to be moved into the arena. It was a nightmare. But it was a great time. It was horrible and destroyed by the weather, but the people out there persevere, right? They don't care. So we all ended up in the arena for 2 days, or 3 days, 2 days, and it was hotter. It was 110 degrees in there. It was ugly. But like I said, they don't care. Stanfest folks don't give a shit. They'll go, if you set them on fire, they still sit there and watch you play. Yeah. Mark Smith, member for 26-month Master Guitar Head. He says, very moving Guthrie show, Case by yourself and all others on stage, Friday at Stanfest, big hugs, JP. Yeah, we did a show because Bruce couldn't make it, and he's suffering some pretty bad health problems, so he couldn't make it. So we all got on stage, me and Dave and a bunch of us. We all sang Bruce songs, so it was very moving and very hard. And I was going to say, I forgot in Cape Corner, I usually end the show, start the show with these things, was that I was telling Baker earlier, before the show started, that I've lost a tremendous amount of people this year. Just unbelievable number of people that I know and have played with and are close friends. Lost another one today. And I got to say a cheers to John Marlett from the Moonshine Cafe in Oakville, Ontario, which was very likely one of the very best folk venues in all of Canada. I played there every year, sometimes twice a year. Like, I don't even know. It goes back decades, I think. And John Marlett was one of the greatest men I ever met in this business. He was an expert at his job. My shows were always sold out. He treated me like gold. And everybody like gold. And unfortunately, he passed away during a surgical procedure for an aneurysm in his stomach, I hear. And I just, so here's the John. Man, I can't even believe I'm saying that. I thought for sure I'd see him again this fall, but no. And secondly, I have to say another here's to Sinead O'Connor, who we lost today. Unbelievable. She's 56. She's only 2 years older than me. And that sucks. And if you go back, through the last few months, Jesse McReynolds and Bobby Osborne and Gordon Lightfoot, and it just goes on and on. Like, there's so many people that I've lost. It's unbelievable. I called Gunning today, and he said, are we at the age where all the people we know start to die? I was like, well, yeah, I guess so. And it sucks. It is hard, especially when you see, your friends and heroes all just they're just gone, and it's tough. So here's to everybody that's missing someone tonight, and my friend John, Sinead. Prayers for Bruce, please, please, prayers for Bruce, and yeah. So guitar heads, aeternum. Terry Short. He says I agree about the LX1E just poking the bear. Yeah, you don't have to poke the bear too hard, I'll tell you. I'm really not that not that thrilled with those. While I'm waiting for another super chat to come in, I can say also that we've got a lot of reviews coming up in the next few weeks. I'm going to try to stack things up because I have a lot of traveling to do this year yet. I've got to go to Ontario and Chicago next month. Then I'm going to California and out west, and then I'm going to Dollywood in October. And it's the whole year is just flying by, and I kind of hate it because it's almost going by so quick. I'm not enjoying it. I am, but I'm not. It's like it's going by so fast. I'm not having any chance to savor the moment. I enjoyed Stanfest was great. Camp Shore was incredible, but it's still there. I was sitting here and watching them approach, and then they're gone. Boom, it's over and done with. So a little sad about that. Kind of like Jesus, that didn't last long, and we're midway through the summer already, and so. Yeah, it's been a strange year. So much work, but it's good. I'm not going to complain. A lot of people aren't working. Didn't really survive the pandemic. Really, a lot of folks I don't think are still suffering from that. But we did great, mostly because of you guys. So yeah, let's see here. What else we got? Graham Avery called Cram McBlaster. Cram McBlaster. Rich Fearon says Ringo Starr is 83 and still playing in the recording booth too. That is true, which is awesome. Let's see here. Mick Jagger just celebrated his 80th. Rich Fairness, yeah, that's true. Yeah, and that's about all that's going on just now. What else can we talk about? Geez, I'm at a loss. I'm not sure. I'll just drink this beer. The reviews are piling up, as I said. I'll give you maybe a rundown. Well, here's an exciting thing. When I go up to Ontario next month, I'll be ending my run in Ontario by going to Chicago after it's over in Ontario. And I'm going to be performing and clinicking at the Fretboard Summit, which is put on by the Fretboard Journal, which is like the world's premier, place for everything acoustic and electric, I suppose. And I'll be going there with Gallagher Guitars, and they're going to launch I'm going to pick up the very first official J.P. Cormier signature model Gallagher at the Fretboard Summit. That's exciting. I got to put a call into Chris Meikle at Yeri, because in the spring, late winter, he had told me that they were starting to work on my Yeri signature, which is really exciting. That kind of blows me away that a company that huge, that's worldwide, and has been since the late 50s, would take enough time to build a signature model guitar for a big fat dope like me, but they're gonna. And it's coming right from the shop in Kani, Japan, the main workshop, and I'm freaked out. It's freaking me out. So that's coming too. I have another Boucher review to do. That's here. That's going to blow your mind. The Cody Electric. I've given up on the amp situation, and I'm just going to use my Roland Cube amp to do the review, which would be fine for that guitar. Also, another big thing that's happening right now that I mentioned earlier in the show is that LR Baggs has finally released what they're calling their hi-fi system, pickup system. It's a sensor system, a la K&K, except sort of completely different. It's inside the guitar, glued to the guitar with crazy glue, but there's two of them only, and they're large fixtures. They look like almost like a playing die, like you roll dice. That kind of a size. They're encased in a housing. Two of those, battery, volume and tone control, output. And I am waiting as we speak for them to arrive here. We're going to do an install video and then a review. I've already used them, so I know they're absolutely fucking unbelievable. Couldn't believe how good they sounded. And we'll also at the same time feature the LR Baggs Synops speaker that I've had here for months, and I haven't reviewed it because it's so awesome. We use it here all the time to A/B pickup systems, and to hear, what things sound like once they're set up with electronics, because it's in my opinion, if you're a guy that uses like the Bose sticks for playing in small venues of 250 seats or less, this thing would easily replace that in a heartbeat. There's no question. It's one of the most powerful, clear sounding things I've ever heard. So we're going to be using the new hi-fi, LR Baggs hi-fi system through that. And it's going to be fun because I played one in Nashville. As a matter of fact, if you go on Alvarez All-Stars and look for the video of me, being interviewed by Chris Meikle in Nashville, you'll see me playing one of the Honduran mahogany dreadnoughts, which is a copy, the same model as I have here, had one of those LR Baggs systems in it, plugged through a Synops. And that's the audio you're hearing. And at one point, actually, during the video, I looked at the guy from LR Baggs and I said, man, what did you guys do? What have you done? And I didn't know. I was unaware that this thing was even in development. But now they are fully out. And they're coming to Canada through Long and McQuaid, of course, being distributed by Yorkville. So Yorkville and L&M are sort of now my de facto partners for LR Bagg products. And as you know, I've always had, great things to say about L&M. You're not going to find a more versatile store anywhere. And if you want to go see, you can go, if you want to get out of the box, the cookie cutter store, go to your G&Gs and your Citadel Musics and all those things. But if you want like industrial strength, I need this thing now, rented, blah, whatever, L&M is the best. Like they make Guitar Center look ill because it's the only thing you can really compare it to. They have great product. They keep it pristine. They have great staff, great techs. I mean, my tech, Doug Sampson, he was L&M for 30 years. So there you go. Anyhow, that's what's happening with the LR Baggs thing, which is really fun and cool. Okay, we have a new super chat. Jamie Reed says, I have an LX1E sucks. He says, thank God for the J45. Right on. Stephen Baker. Really looking forward to get looking forward to getting MMM, Jesus, back online. It'll be the content from before. Work well on mobile with new features coming weekly. Thanks for your patience, buddy, but it'll be worth the wait, and it will. Baker's the man. This guy helped invent open source coding. This guy's a genius. So I have no worries that the new site's going to be amazing. Let's see, what do we got here? Let me see. Norman Aben. You've been here before. I remember seeing a Joe Val album on one of the string theories. Did Joe Val have any influence on your music? Well, sir, Joe Val was the first live bluegrass band that I ever saw. They came to Bridgewater and played my high school, it was the high school I was going to go to. I was seeing them when I was about, I think 13 or, no, wait a minute. I would have been older than that. Maybe I was going there by then, or just getting there the same year. But they showed up, and they played a concert in there. It was a packed hall in the auditorium, the cafeteria. There was a big stage in the cafeteria. That's where they had all their functions, Parkview. And they blew my mind. And I met him. I met the whole band. I was just a little kid. I was probably 15 or 16 years old. And, I bought every album he ever made. Later on, I saw where one of the things that blew me away about Joe Val, well, anybody who knows Joe Val, he had one of the highest tenors ever in bluegrass. And I remember seeing Joe Val and Bill Monroe on David Holt's show, Fire on the Mountain, I think it was called. I think that's what it was called. I could be wrong about that. Anyhow, Joe Val singing tenor to Monroe, singing above Monroe, and it was scary. And later on, years later, after Joe died, I had heard Monroe say, they asked him who his favorite singers were. He immediately said he loved Bobby Osborne, and he said one of the best tenor singers I ever heard though was that Joe Val. He's a Boston man, I think. Joe Val. He loved Joe Val, and that was abnormal for Bill to say anything about anybody, but he really thought Joe Val was the shit. So if you don't know who Joe Val and the New England Bluegrass Boys were, please go look them up because you'll freak. He was such a great singer and mandolin player. Okay, let's see here. Corey McCormick, the Bread Disaster Minute. Oh, God. Corey McCormick says, JP, what's your take on Lakewood guitars? I love Lakewood guitars. I was the one who helped Glenn when he first bought the dealership. And he's now the number one Lakewood dealer in all of North America. And he was years ago. Me and him double teamed on that because I would love them. They, for me personally now, especially even more so that I'm older, they're a little too hard for me to play. They're a very robust, huge sounding guitar, and they have sort of a difficult neck if you're doing, and I don't want to say you can't set it up otherwise, because you can, but they come from the factory set up to play hard rhythm, just huge sound. And another guy that uses them is Matt Anderson. Been using them for years. He got there, through me. I was probably the first one to show him those guitars, and he's gone through 5 or 6 of them, wore them out over years, right? So they're very tough. They're very tough. They're well made. If you see Lakewoods with maple leaves inlaid on the fretboard, that's my design. I sent that into them when they built my custom model, which was Brazilian. It was an OM with Brazilian rosewood back and sides, Engelmann spruce, and pearl maple leaves on the fretboard, and that was a great guitar. But at the same time, it's one of the guitars that I've always pointed to and said Brazilian didn't make any difference, and it didn't. It really, I can't say that. And it was a beautiful guitar. They really know how to make them. But I can't look back at that and say that Brazilian rosewood guitar outshone like the Ivory Girl, which is made out of bubinga, right? Or any other guitar. It just, it was that, I think that was the moment in time when I realized that Brazilian rosewood was not what it's cracked up to be. It is a beautiful sounding wood, but it's not the be all end all. And I actually sold that Lakewood to somebody who still has it, still playing, still a great guitar. And Lakewood continues to build them. Jesus, I'm yawning like a bastard. I'm tired. But Lakewood continues to build them, and Glenn at G&G Music continues to sell them, dozens of them every year, right alongside the Bouchers. Like they're that kind of instrument, and they're German. They're just really good. They're great guitars. So yeah. Let's see here. What do we got? Let's see. If you could, well, you can see if you're looking at the comments what these maniacs are talking about on here. Oh, there's Ginger. Hi, Ginger. Cool. Ginger to the rescue. Yes, don't I wish. Cam McMaster asks, does G&G ship worldwide? He absolutely does. He ships guitars all over the planet. That man has sent guitars to Japan. There you go. So, yeah. Glenn Gotel can ship a guitar anywhere. So, if you know someone who's in Australia, he's done all those countries. So, yeah, he'll ship it anywhere you want it to go. I can't do much from Thunder Bay. Is he off the rails? I'm not off the rails. I didn't go off the rails. I'm being good. I did say shit and fuck a few times, but that's all right. I blame Coot. Coot is in sensitivity training? Yeah, right. Stephen Baker says nobody can do much from Thunder Bay, which is a true story. Whoa. Okay. There you go. Yeah. So there you go. That's about it. I've run out of things to do and say, but we appreciate you. So let's see. Got to think of a good question for tonight. A good Christian. So we're down to, we got 31 spots filled. And as I've told you before, this giveaway, God knows what's going to be in this, because obviously all of our partners have seen a huge uptick in their sales because of String Theory and Guitar Stuff with John and your support of the channel, right? This is what keeps all this going. So I'm not sure who's going to be pitching in, but somebody's going to pitch in something wicked. Last year, it was the Bluegrass Alvarez went out. That was amazing. God knows what it's going to be this time. Could be anything. So we're going to wait until, I think I'm going to do it. I think I might, it's hard to say. I might stretch it out a little bit to make it a Christmas time thing, but I might probably end up doing it in October or November before Christmas so that shipping's not a problem. So that leaves us August, September, October, 3 more months. So I might slow this down just a hair and just take one answer tonight. So here's the question. This is a really good one. I want to know the name of the first I want to know the name of the first hit single, worldwide, #1, that Sinead O'Connor had. In 1990, I believe is when she had it. And that's our question for tonight. The first world #1 that Sinead O'Connor had in 1990. And Blair Svensson got it. But Blair is already here, I believe. Let me just check. Yep, he is. Okay, the next one is Richard McKay. Richard McKay, that doesn't sound familiar. Richard McKay, you're it. Richard McKay. So if you want to send a email to jpcormier38@gmail.com, we will take note of your locations and vitals, and you'll be put in the draw this fall. We've got 32 in. That leaves us 28 left. 18 left, sorry. Or 28, no, 18 left. Jesus. So, yeah, it's not a ton of space, but 3, 6, 9, 18. There you go. And so keep your eyes open for Master Music Method coming up soon to us. An app. I can't wait to see the apps. That's going to be the thing. This is going to work on your iPhone, your Android phone, your iPad, your whatever you got. There's going to be an app. And that's going to be really cool. I can't wait to see that. And the upcoming, if you want to know where I'm playing in the next few months, jp-cormier.com. If you want to know where me and Dave are playing, it's gunningandcormier.com. DaveGunning.com will have his dates. And, we love you. We love you. We love you lots. I don't think I'm going to be able to play any of this anymore. I'll just play it on the phone. The Earl of Hindford. We love you. I love you, and I appreciate you sticking by me all of this time. And a big hello out to anyone who's traveling in the East Coast right now and enjoying all this music and fellowship and food and beer and fun and festivals. Nice to have you here. And lastly, one more ask. If there's people out there praying people, let's have one for Bruce Guthrow. And on and upward we go. Jeff Gallant said this is a fiddly de potatoes. It is. We love you. We will see you next week, I think. Here, Wednesday. Any Wednesday I'm home, I will be here with you. There you go. Straying Theory. My name is JP Cormier. Thanks for everything, for hanging in there with us all these years now. It's crazy. It's over 3. Love you.